Welcome back, and to shed more light on the current developments and particularly Egypt's participation in the BRICS summit, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Dr. Mohamed Halim, our political and economic analyst. Thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Sir, let me know your vision regarding the Egyptian participation in the BRICS summit in light of the very first, let's say, attendance of Egypt represented in President Abdel al-Sisi in the important meeting in Kazan in this very critical timing as the whole world is really suffering from global economic crises, not only one crisis.
Yeah, that's right. Today, His Excellency, Mr. President Abdel al-Sisi is heading to Russia, to participate in the bloc or the assembly of the BRICS that is supposed to be actually held in Kazan, which is supposed to be one of the most distinguished and important summits actually that witnessed for the first time the interference and the participation of the Egyptian state as a permanent member actually in that sort of bloc. Since its own affiliation actually officially at the very beginning of the current year. I mean, the presidential spokesman actually did, represent in today's words that Mr. President Abdel al-Sisi will be explaining and, discussing as much as examining during the course of the summit. The Egyptian vision actually is on several trends and political attitudes towards a large number of subjects and issues actually that are very much important both on regional as much as international arena. Particularly, the ways and the means through the aid of which the participation and the cooperation as much as the sense of fortification of that sort of cooperation could be actually enhanced and fortified among the countries that are to be, being part of that sort of assembly or BRICS.
Dr. Abdel Halim, would you please, if you permit me to interrupt here, we cannot separate politics from economics. I mean, when it comes to the unrest or the struggles, the conflicts which are taking place, whether in Europe, in South Asia, or here in the Middle East, I think these conflicts are behind the turbulence, the economic turbulence, the economic crises which are taking place everywhere. And whether developed or developing countries are suffering from the same cause. Do you think that the BRICS summit is going to tackle such an issue to try to pave the way for de-escalation or to end all conflicts, to make sure that they are going to achieve the interests of their peoples?
Yeah, rightly so. Actually done. The fact that I said a couple of minutes ago, there is a great deal of interest and agendas on the part of the presidential authority actually to try, to examine and to discuss in detail first the issues of mutual concern, politically as much as strategically, and in the meantime to touch upon the economic side actually, the sort of the thing that seems to be quite very much primarily, intriguing perhaps the whole world. And as you might have said rightly now, that between politics, and economy, there is some little, separation. And in that respect, the participation on the part of the Egyptian presidential authority is very much important and very much crucial at this particular stage, which the whole world is witnessing, either from the point of view of politics or even the economic side, as much as the attempts and the several attempts to the ramification and rehabilitation of the financial standpoint, both, as I've just said, regionally and internationally, with the view of achieving the sort of a balance, or the needed balance actually, particularly but in first with respect to the fortification of, the perfection of the interests of the developing countries, of which country or the Egyptian state is being part and parcel of, in different fields, regionally as much as internationally, in the light of what you might call the maximization of the different influences actually, particularly those passive influences for the international struggles and the tussles and, the sort of the continual battles actually that are to be initiated and that would be very much influencing passively on the, the particular road, particularly for those developing countries on almost all the fields. Particularly, actually, one of the major agendas that will be examined, during the course of the Soto summit that is to be held in today's terminology, the fact that Mr. President Tahiti is very much concerned as well, not only with the political side as much as the economic dimension, but in the meantime, he's very much concerned with, representing one, international dimension that is very much concerned with the climate change and the way to fortify the source of the economic cooperation as much as developmental, interference among almost all the countries that are to be part of the sort of BRIC. In addition to the fact that, there is a great deal of representing and of identifying as much as explaining the status and the, the point of view of the Egyptian state concerning the development that are to be at the present time situation in the Middle East, and the several achievements on the part of the Egyptian state, very much continuous and very much, a strong one, very much concise and precise for the de-escalation and the prevention of the expansion of the circle.
Let's hope and cross our fingers that tomorrow is going to be a better day and we are going to achieve peace and prosperity to all peoples on earth, not only even in our region only. Well, Dr. Mohamed Abdel Halim, our political analyst, thank you very much for your input, sir. Have a very good night. Right after the short break, I'm going to return back with more, so stay tuned.